Look at how digital we are. I just showed up in Chris's office in 2 seconds, and we're on the other side of town. All right, let's do this. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining us. This is our second week for digital marketing. Today, we're going to have Chris just really dive into branding and just how crucial branding is to your business, whether you're in car sales, whether you're in title, whether you're a realtor. Doesn't matter. Branding is huge right now. We also got Brenda over at Summit Funding. Thanks, Brenda, for joining us today. She's going to give us a lender market update. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Go ahead, Brenda. I'll let you take over from here.
All right. Hi, everybody. So I got about 5 minutes. I know you guys are hearing lender updates and mortgage updates all over the place, but my most important thing to share with you today is really how to see or hear or notice some type of red flag, okay, with a pre-approved buyer of yours or with a pending deal. So, couple of things. And let me give you a background. So, Summit Funding, I run the branch. I'm one of the top producers. I'm 30 years in lending. I was an underwriter. So I definitely have been around the block a little bit. So back to these red flags. So we've all heard that government loans. We've had all kinds of lenders, brokers, mortgage companies completely increase credit scores. There's also restrictions around debt to income ratios and reserves and stuff like that. We've had big banks, we've had mortgage lenders, we've had brokers have to completely restrict their guidelines on conventional loans. So these are the critical things that are super important to understand. These changes are not coming from the governmental agencies that govern all the guidelines. You got Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, they govern conventional rules. They have not changed barely any of their guidelines. But some of your loan officers or loan officers on your transactions could completely have a 680 credit score on an FHA or a 620. So with Ginnie Mae governs government loans. That's FHA and VA. They have not touched their credit scores, but all the lenders, most of the lenders have changed and put higher restrictions on credit score or debt to income ratio. So there's all these changes going everywhere. They're not at all lending institutions. That's what's critical. So what we're hearing in the field right now is, I had one of my agents that refers me tell me that, yeah, the client is at XYZ company and we're in the middle of the transaction and they're being told that they have to come up with more gift money. Well, come to find out, there are completely more requirements that are not even a real guideline. It's a guideline I don't even have. So these are the trigger words that you need to be paying attention to with your pending pre-approval, with your pending deals and your pre-approved buyers out looking. You've already heard that you got to make every one of your buyers go do a double check-in. The things you're going to want to educate them on because you are their trusted advisor. You need to ask them, you want to find out, have any of the terms of your pre-approval changed? Okay. You want to find out, are they being told they require more down payment or more money in the bank? A lot of these things are not at all lenders. So you could have someone that is completely fine on a government loan, let's say, like maybe they're out there, they're pre-approved for a $200,000 FHA, but the lender they're pre-approved at, their minimum credit score is still okay, but now they have to get more money as a gift, or they have to save more money. So critical questions to educate and ask and constantly be communicating as the trusted advisor. You want to ask them, have any of the terms of your pre-approval changed? Is the lender asking for anything unique that doesn't seem ordinary? Are they sending you any updated documents like a new loan estimate that might have a change in loan amount? Are they asking your client to get a gift? You got to be forward thinking and be asking these clients for this information because maybe your FHA deal is totally fine with the credit score, But someone like me right now, because I am a direct lender to Fannie, Freddie, FHA, and VA, we can sell direct. So I could be at 3.25 on FHA. Someone else that's helping the client at a bank or a broker, they could be at 4.25. So they could still qualify, but they could be told you need more money. That could be because the rate not only is higher, but their costs are higher, or they're requiring more stuff that's unnecessary. So at the end of the day, you've got to be talking to the client and get them to openly communicate with you any change, any surprise new thing that a lender is asking for. And you want to make sure that every client is pre-approved according to the new guidelines. These are a couple of things that have happened literally in the course of the last week. I have a deal I just got yesterday. The deal is being done at a great local bank. They're typically a great company. They allowed, you guys have heard, we all can allow, that's coming straight down from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, which again, those are your conventional guidelines. And then Ginnie Mae, who manages all the government guidelines on FHA and VA and rural development loans. Fannie, Freddie, and Ginnie Mae allow exterior inspections on all deals. The lender must attempt to get a full-blown appraisal. If the appraisal cannot be done because maybe nobody wants to go in the house or the house has too many COVID people, who knows? The appraiser is allowed to turn it into an exterior inspection. The client got the exterior inspection, came at value, it's fine. File gets to underwriting, mind you, 4 weeks later, way too long. Gets to underwriting, the underwriter reaches out, not the underwriter, the loan officer reaches out to the buyer and asks him for his home inspection. Buyer doesn't realize, never send your home inspection to an underwriter. I was an underwriter. Here's a rule in underwriting. What an underwriter doesn't know doesn't hurt her. So don't ever let a client, and this is going around, this is the second deal I've heard of in Metro Detroit this past 3 business days. So you want to communicate if an exterior inspection's done, if a desktop appraisal is done, which is totally allowed, then don't ever let your client send in a home inspection to underwriting. Now, on this deal that I got yesterday, the underwriter, the client sent the home inspection. There's like 5,000 little winky-dink stupid things that would never be brought up on an appraisal. Seller who just got through probate, house is vacant, seller's not doing a thing, deal is dead at that, and now the deal has to move because the client didn't understand. Don't ever send a home inspection. So it's the second case I've heard of this week alone from local companies right now with an exterior inspection or with a desktop appraisal, okay? So we want to be watching for clients' loan amounts and pre-approval prices changing, them mentioning they have to get more money. That could be totally higher fees and rates they're paying, or they're, am I up? Oh, question. Yes, I love it. Thanks. Go ahead.
All right, sorry to interrupt, but I had that happen yesterday. The lender's quicken, and the seller called me, and the seller said someone knocked on my door and said they're doing an appraisal. And I'm like, well, that's crazy because I remember our conversation yesterday. What if the buyer did not do an inspection? What are we going to expect?
It doesn't matter. An underwriter should never, with the guidelines right now on conventional loans coming straight down the pipe from Fannie, Freddie, and Ginnie Mae, which is your FHA, VA, and rural development, no underwriter should be asking for a home inspection. So if you have that, move it or fight it hard. That should never turn in a home inspection. And if they don't have one, too bad. But the lender, it's an overlay. And this is what an overlay is for everybody, just in case you don't understand. An overlay is a rule that the lending institution that's giving the loan has placed on top of the real rules. And this is the ongoing problem everywhere right now. We've got a lot of lenders pushing new rules on top of the real rules that are available right now or that are out there. Does that make sense? So they should never have to turn in a home inspection. It's not even a requirement of anybody except that institution. Don't ever let your borrowers send over home inspections. Does that help? So I think my time is up, but I just want you guys to understand, keep your eyes and ears open for changing amounts, changing fees, changing rates, changing credit score restrictions, being told they have to add a cosigner in the 9th hour or anything. If you have loans in a pipe and there's any issues, they should be caught by your loan officer out of the gate, not by an underwriter. An underwriter validates information. The loan officer should be experienced to absolutely find every single thing an underwriter is going to find. Does that make sense? Any other questions? All right, I'm out.
Awesome. Oh, whoa. Here we go. There we go. That's better. What are you laughing for, Milo? Brenda, that was awesome. Thank you so much. I actually never knew that regarding the inspection report conventional. That's huge. And I think that there's not enough agents out there that don't know that either, because I had a similar situation. And an agent was telling me, oh, this would never pass. A lender would never authorize this. And so I think that's awesome. So I appreciate that info, Brenda. Next, we got Ryan, associate broker at Inked, Michigan. My mentor for the last 5 years, introduced me to the game. I've learned so much from him. So without further ado, go ahead, Milo, and take over.
Can you hear me now? Okay, so I thought you were going next, Tony, and I wasn't really prepared, but we're talking a little about branding later on. So I wanted to discuss what I used to do back in the 1990s. It was all about getting your name out there. Sending mailers was a big thing that I do to my circle of influence. And I don't know if y'all can see that, but I used to send one of these out per month. And it's a postcard, and every month it just said, hey, happy Easter. If you don't get an Easter basket and you need to move to somewhere where you can, give me a call. Something cute like that. So I used to send out those, and when we talk about branding, we talk about logos and stuff like that, put them on your business card, and it takes someone 3 times in order for that to be imprinted in their head. And I've done billboards, I was on the radio, I haven't been on TV, I don't think so. Anyway, I used to have the front of the Homes magazine back in the day. I had the front page. But for branding, this is our logo. We give these out to people. And also we give these little, this is really cute. These are little tattoos. And I'm like, here, happy closing. Put them on your kids and tag us on your Instagram. Great way of marketing. And also behind me is our little logo wall after a closing. People stand here and we take a photo. It says we just got inked in case you can't read. And we push that out a little bit too. We also give out some fake tattoo sleeves that are fun. But digital marketing has taken over a lot of what I used to do. And I got rid of a lot of that stuff because now we have drip emails and stuff like that. So I don't send out the postcards anymore. They worked really well every single month. My dentist was like, I didn't go to the dentist every single month, even though I have nice teeth. They're not real. He always used to ask me, hey, does this work? Should I start something like this? Do I need to do something like this? And people used to tell me, oh, I love getting your stuff all the time. And then we started drip emails, and then they're like, hey, I just got your email. That was great. Love the recipe and what you guys are doing. So things have changed a lot since I've been doing the business, since Brenda's been doing the business. We do, marketing is way different now. So with that being said, someone else is going to take the mic back, but I don't know who it is. I think it's Chris, but have a good day, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, Milo. And guys, don't let him fool you. He does have a real tattoo. He just doesn't want to show you guys where it's at, but he got one. Oh, that was awesome. And just to see the era of real estate and how it's changed, especially this last year, so fast, it's insane. Even these last few months, everything we're going through. Thank you for sharing that with us, Ryan. Before we dive into it and hand it over to Chris, I just want to give you guys the Instagram tip of the week. And that is always, 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 no matter if it's a story, a post, always put a location. Adding a location on your story or your post is huge. Your organic reach jumps up 30% just by putting a location. And you can have fun with it. If you're in Michigan and you want to fool everybody or whatever, you can put a different state, you can put a different city, have fun with it. The only, try to keep it hyper local though. If you're doing if it's a listing or something like that, what that does is if someone clicks that location, it'll show up on a recent post and people will be able to get more traffic to your page. Not only that, it will just push the Instagram algorithm and your page on the popular page. It does so many little things. So always put a location. And that is the tip of the week. So with that being said, I'm gonna hand it over to my man, Chris, the marketing guru. He's gonna go into branding. And yeah, take notes. I hope you guys learn from this and use it.
All right. Hey guys. So first off, not a marketing guru, just, learned and acted on what I learned. So today I want to talk to you guys about brand. This is kind of where it all began with me. So kind of a short little backstory on how I learned basically everything that I'm going to share with you guys. I stumbled across a marketing guru that focused heavily on Facebook that was based out of Australia. He was a paid for you service. You pay him. He basically takes over your Facebook account, your social media accounts, and attempts to build your brand. I approached him and let him know, hey, it'd be wonderful to do that, but I don't feel that I can properly represent my brand from Australia. So it was something that I wanted to learn what he was doing. And in doing so, we partnered up together and he essentially built a course around me, which is basically everything that I'm going to teach you guys in the coming weeks. That's where it came from. And there are more resources available to you guys if you reach out to me. It's not anything I'm selling. It's something I'm giving away for free. So if anybody wants to know more about this, just reach out and I can provide you with more information. But let's dive into brand. I mean, brand is your reputation. It's the way that an individual feels when they interact with you or your business. And it's the way that you can build trust amongst your community. But most importantly, your brand is you. It's not this image of a real estate agent in general. Your brand is you. And that is so important to be yourself and to build a personal brand that is truly 100% authentically you. The best companies in the world, they don't sell, they brand. For example, Apple never tries to convert you into buying an iPhone or buying a MacBook or an iMac. Instead, they paint a picture of the iPhone experience or of the Apple experience. They focus 100% of their efforts on branding. And look how well Apple is doing. Majority of us on this call probably have one, if not 3 to 5 Apple products in their home. And where a lot of us in the real estate industry go wrong is by seeing others excel in the short game and kind of switching our plan or switching gears on how we're approaching our long-term goals. So high pressure sales tactics, they work for some individuals, but most of us, when we have somebody call us with a similar intent, we have somebody cold call us and start trying to sell us things. I mean, we get pissed, and for some reason, we feel that this is okay to do in our industry, to cold call people, to harass them for their listing. And then when they say no, to hang up and not be compassionate or empathetic with them by any means. And this is something that I feel the real estate industry really does need to change. And I'm not saying stop cold calling, and that is not what I'm saying at all, but do so from a place of compassion and empathy. So switch the whole, I'm calling for sale by owners trying to get that listing. Stop focusing on the sale and start focusing on building relationships. If you focus on building relationships, I guarantee you your results are going to go through the roof. I mean, how can you ever expect to build a desirable brand when you're just cold calling people and pressing for that high pressure sales tactic? When you start focusing your actions on truly helping people, a wonderful opportunity is going to arise for you guys. So in my opinion, the future of real estate lies in the hands of strong brands. And brands that truly focus on building relationships with their clients. And in order to do this, like I said before, I mean, we need to rid ourselves of these high pressure sales tactics. It's something that's negatively affected our title as real estate agents over the years, and it's caused majority of people to highly dislike us and think of us as used car salesmen and not respect us or our title. So what I want you guys to do is start helping me show the world the new look of real estate and how things have changed and how things can continue changing. But most of you that are here with us today, I mean, you're probably asking yourself, where do I start, Chris? I mean, how do I start building a brand? And I mean, it all really begins with your personal brand. It's one of the most important things that you can do as a real estate agent to guarantee that you have success long-term in this game. I mean, remember, your brand is nothing more than your reputation. So if my brand's my reputation, then I'm going to want to make sure that I know my shit, right? But I'm guessing most of us that are on this call already know our shit when it comes to real estate. So that's kind of something that we're just going to breeze over and move on to the next item in regards to brand. And it's actually a lot simpler than a lot of you guys may think. So my personal brand all began when I threw nearly everything out the window of how I was told to practice real estate. I mean, I was told to hit the phones and use these scripts, and that's how I was going to be successful. And I knew deep down in my soul that that was not me. And I knew that there was a way that I could be myself and still sell real estate. So I chose at that time to start being me, 100% me, the true, authentic Chris. And that's kind of where everything started to take off for me. People deal too much with fake people and shitty people nowadays, and that's not what they want to deal with when they're approaching a real estate agent. They want to approach somebody that is a real person that they can learn to trust. People want to work with real people that show their true authentic self, and people that are the same person at work, at home, at the gym, at their kid's soccer game, and maybe even at the bar if you don't get too rowdy. But there's no better way to build trust in your clients than by building a real relationship with them as the real you. So by being transparent in every aspect of our life, we not only gain respect from everyone around us, but we make life easier on ourselves. We don't have to try to change who we are based on the situation that we're in. And at the end of the day, people with good intentions are always going to prevail over those with bad intentions in the long game. I mean, in the short term, yeah, bad intentions, I mean, they'll get you so far, but when building a brand, it's the people with good intentions that are going to win. And newsflash for you guys, the internet's going to expose us. I mean, whether you have good intentions or bad intentions, people are going to find out. I mean, everything is documented. There is content around everything. I mean, the internet is going to expose you. So stop trying to put on a mask every day and start living your life as you. Unless the mask is in regards to COVID-19, then keep wearing that, keep everyone safe, you know? But I know, guys, people have they've become extremely successful in the past without following these suggestions. And I'm not saying that this is going to work for everyone, but this is what's worked for me and what's worked for our team. The world we live in today, it's way different from the 80s or the early 2000s. Back then, if you wanted to create content and put it in front of an audience, you basically had to turn to television or radio and spend thousands of dollars in order to secure a spot to sell whatever you're selling to that audience. Today, fortunately, we have dozens of social media platforms that we can do the same sort of thing. So instead of selling constantly like businesses used to, now we can create helpful, educational, entertaining content and use it to get sales long-term. And this is a game changer because this is something that we can truly get behind and feel good with ourselves by providing people with value, and in turn, it positively affecting our businesses. So, I mean, we as real estate agents, our job's to market homes, and I'm pretty sure that the best people for marketing a home would be a media company. Am I wrong? So if that's the case, I mean, why don't we start acting like a media company, and why don't we start creating and documenting content and doing so on a consistent basis? So something to kind of keep in mind about creating content is, you know, it can take a lot of your time. And I mean, a lot of you may be thinking right now, you know, to create content, I'm going to have to brainstorm for hours, come up with ideas, then film it, then edit it. But I want to throw something at you guys. Like, what if we just document our lives instead of creating content? I'm sure the majority of us do a ton of interesting stuff each and every day, whether it's in our personal life or in our job. I mean, you and your wife went to the newest restaurant downtown. You listed a new house in Birmingham. You took your dog Chapo to the park. You closed a new construction home in Macomb Township. We have no excuse, guys. We can make content to build your brand out of almost anything that you do on a daily basis. And to create content is to build brand. But we can't really just stop there. I mean, there's a ton of players in the game of real estate. So just producing content and posting it is never going to be enough, especially in the market we're in right now. What we've seen as a brand that prides ourselves on digital marketing is since this COVID-19 pandemic has started, we have seen a lot of other brands start to put more ad spend into Facebook, which does water things down and make it so that we have to spend a little more to keep that same reach. So not only do we need to become consistent in our efforts with producing content, but we need to spend money. We have to put money behind Facebook ads, Instagram ads, whatever your social media platform is, you need to spend money in that area. We can drastically scale the reach of our content by putting paid ads behind our campaigns in a smart way. I mean, don't just go out and boost a post and hope for the best. You need to truly learn how the algorithms work and how to best spend that money. And I know a lot of you have probably already tried this and you've probably failed, and so did I in the past. But my failures led to a discovery. I discovered how to effectively utilize social media paid ads to not only build my brand, but also to generate leads and build relationships with my fellow man. And we're going to be diving into all of this in the coming weeks. I mean, this is basically the foundation of this course is going to be behind Facebook ads, but we needed to start with brand in order to get to that level. So we're going to kind of rewind a bit here, go back to the branding side of things. And we are going to have some homework for you guys. So I'm going to dive into some of the first steps in building your brand here. I'm going to go through this pretty quick, and then I've got a document that I'm going to email out to all of you guys that will have all of these questions on it so that you guys can start to kind of build that foundation of your brand. So first thing we want to think about here is our ideal client avatar. What is the client that we want to work with? Who is the client we want to work with? We need to understand who these people are, and we need to stop trying to cater to the broad audience, but focus our efforts on our ideal client, the clients that we do want to work with. So first off, we want to think of our favorite 10 clients that we've worked with in the past, and we want to dissect this group of people. What sort of similarities do they all have? Why did we enjoy working with these people? So once we have this in mind, we're going to start to define exactly what that ideal client avatar is and who we want to work with. So we're going to start with the basics. We're going to jot down their age, their occupation, their education, what they do, how they spend their week, what they do outside of work for fun, where do they get their news, how much do they make, how do they feel about their job, what are their concerns in life, what aspects of their life or personality affect how you market yourself to them. Are they married, divorced, single? Do they have kids? Do they have a bunch of kids? Do they have pets? Does anything about their relationships have a bearing of how they might use your service or fit it into their week? We have to be aware of these things, guys. Does your service address any of their concerns that relate to their family? What is it about your service that matters to this person? If we don't know these items, how are we ever going to effectively market to these people? How do we solve a need for these people? How do we ease a pain or make them feel good? How are we influencing their life for the better? What sort of thoughts should go through this person's head before they decide to reach out to you about your services? What's the final straw that makes them decide to work with you? And what do they need to have in order to consider taking them on? Some agents don't want to work with people that are not pre-approved. So we want to make sure that you also understand who it is that you want to work with and at what point you're comfortable working with them. And then if you guys think of any other questions that you should ask yourself about these particular clients, some agents only want to work with sellers. Is that something where you're not willing to work with a buyer because of just the way that you function your business? And then once we kind of have this ideal client down, we want to start thinking also about clients that we absolutely do not want to work with. So the same sort of thing, list out these traits and characteristics and the expectations and the mindsets that you don't want to work with at all, and start to repel those people so that you can work with the people that you actually want to work with. So once we understand who it is we want to work with, we need to kind of dissect the pain points and desires and the items that are going to be the driving force behind these people's decisions. So we're going to want to find out what their biggest desires in buying or selling is so that we understand them, what their biggest fears behind buying or selling are, what are their worst nightmares in regards to real estate, biggest challenges, problems, frustrations that come with buying and selling for these particular people, some of the negative emotions that they may feel along the way, as well as some of the positive emotions and how we can make the process more enjoyable for them. Some of the common phrases that sellers have used in the past. I mean, frustrations and challenges that have been voiced to you, desires and aspirations, or concerns that some of your past sellers have had. I mean, if you guys dissect these and understand these, you're going to be able to evolve and develop a plan that's going to work better for those ideal clients. Once we've kind of got all that in mind, so we know who our ideal clients are, we know what's driving these ideal clients, the next thing we want to do is understand our market. So back to knowing your shit. We want to understand our market and exactly what that means today. Obviously, in the middle of this COVID-19 crisis, our market is going to be a lot different than it was 6 months ago. So we're going to have a series of questions here that's going to help us with that. So describe your current market as a buyer, seller market, median price, smoking gun statistics about your current market. So right now, I mean, we've obviously got COVID-19, so maybe jot down some notes about that. Some other statistics about your current market. As much detail as you can get in as possible is going to be beneficial here. How would you describe your current buyers and sellers, their demographics, their psychographics? Why are these people looking to buy or sell? I mean, dive into this on a deeper level and try and really understand what those driving factors are. Why is it that they're doing so now? Is it something to do with COVID-19? Did they have plans of selling before this happened? Understand what their goals are and what their driving factors are. Why do people put off buying or selling for longer than they should? Why should people buy or sell now? Why not 6 months from now? And be 100% honest with your clients in regards to this, or with your prospects. Stop telling people that it's the best time to sell right now all the time. I mean, understand their unique situation and then help drive them to a decision that is actually going to benefit them. Whether it's going to benefit you in the short term or not, it's going to help you create a brand that is more reputable to not only that individual client, but to your entire community. What are all the possible things that could go wrong in the process of buying or selling? What's the perception of realtors in your market? I know most markets, I mean, people think we're assholes. People dislike us. They think we make way too much money for what we do. And honestly, for a lot of agents out there, we do make too much money for what we do, but there are a select group of individuals that are doing things the right way, going above and beyond what the normal expectation of a realtor is. And for those people, we need to start making it known that like not all of us are the same. And that's kind of what I talk about when I keep mentioning this, the new look of real estate. I want to help build a group of real estate agents that can start to shift that preconceived notion that individuals have of us as realtors. So in the past, you may have had some clients that have voiced their opinion of why they are choosing to work with you, why they're not choosing to work with you. So make sure that you document those items and understand why it is that people are choosing to work with you. And what you'll find out is when you create a brand and you start to build that reputation, you're going to have a lot less objections as this brand continues to build, because the brand itself is going to start building trust in your clients. So why do people work with a realtor at all? I mean, obviously there are a ton of for sale by owners out there, a ton of people that do choose to try to approach selling or buying a home by themselves. So what is it about you that makes this process easier for them? What are your main skills and traits that people can look for in hiring you? What should they look for in a realtor altogether? I mean, what are the biggest factors that come to mind for these particular clients? And what are people's biggest false beliefs about buying or selling? I mean, things that they believe are true, but might not actually be true. I mean, there is a ton of information that circulates on the internet, and there are a lot of people that start to believe lies One of the recent ones that happened was with mortgage rates. I mean, 2 months ago, people thought mortgage rates dropped like to 1%. And like, I mean, there's so much false information that circulates on the internet. We need to make sure that our clients are staying up to date and are being informed by reliable sources and not just kind of taking their step cousin's word for it and making all their decisions based off of that. So another thing to ask ourselves, I mean, what is the biggest question that people are asking themselves a month before they reach out to a realtor, a week before they reach out to a realtor? What sort of thoughts are going through their heads during this time? I mean, understanding all of this about our potential clients is going to be so powerful for us. And making the process of getting in touch with you a little easier, that's something that's also going to help pretty tremendously. I mean, make it Calendly and make it so that people can drop an appointment on your calendar from their computer. I mean, people hate talking to people nowadays, and anything that they can do to get on your calendar without having to actually reach out to you, I mean, stuff like that is super beneficial. So once we understand the people we're working with, what's driving them, and then the market that we're currently in, we need to kind of take a look at our positioning as real estate agents. I mean, what our unique abilities are and what strengths we can play to. So us, Inc. Michigan Realty, are one of our biggest abilities here. Our biggest position is digital marketing. I mean, obviously we've done quite a bit of work with Matterport tours and videography, and that's honestly what lands us most of our listings is the advanced digital marketing aspects that we're using. Another thing to keep in mind here for positioning is identify your character identity. So you keep hearing me say the new look of real estate. So that's something that we're using as our character identity. We're trying to show people that we are different than the majority of real estate agents out there. And we do kind of approach this in a different way. Another example may be something like Genius Millennial Realtor. So just kind of coming up with that character identity for yourself and standing behind it. Define what you stand for in your business and in terms of your personal values, and also take a look at what you stand against and do differently than other realtors in your industry. I mean, if trust is something that you pride yourself on, make that known. And then finally, brand perception. I mean, what should be the setting of all my videos, of all my content? What should I be wearing? How should I present myself? What's the initial perception that I'm trying to create? But don't get this too confused. Don't try and fit in the box of a typical real estate agent. Be yourself. I mean, if yourself is not in a suit and tie, people probably aren't going to want to see that. I mean, by being yourself, you're gaining trust and you're gaining reputation in your community. So don't put yourself in a box just because you think this is how the setting of your video should be. Make that decision based off of who you are as a person. So this is kind of just an overview of branding. Like I said, I've got a full-blown course that's going to go a lot deeper into this as far as brand perception, primary promises, brand promises, having guarantees built into your brand. And if you guys are interested in learning more about brand, just reach out to me after this and I can send you some more details on this, a couple other educational videos that I took in the course that I went through. As well as I will be sending the homework documents out with the questions that I went over out to everyone that is a part of this call today. And other than that, I am going to pass it over to Tony Camilleri, who is my grand sponsor into EXP. And without joining EXP, this whole thing wouldn't be possible for me. It's given me a lot of the tools that I have that have allowed me to build such a powerful brand in regards to digital marketing and branding. So take it away, Tony.
All right. Hey, Chris, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Hey, guys, I'm just going to take just a few minutes. Just wanted to just expose you to some information about EXP Realty. Really, this is just to give you some information. I think, as professionals, we all want to know what the companies are that are changing the industry are doing. And we are definitely doing that. We are, is it okay if I share my screen real quick,
Yes,
Chris? I don't know how, let's see. I don't see the option. Okay, here we go. Can you see it? All right, cool. All right, guys. Well, I'm just going to go through again. This will be very fast. I really just want to give you just some kind of highlights on what we're doing. As Chris and the team, Ryan and Tony have, joined EXP, and they've been able to use a lot of the tools and resources that EXP has offered to help change people's businesses. And there's some other huge factors as to why we are seeing some of the biggest brokers, producers, team leaders, real estate coaches moving over to EXP. And I want to just highlight those things real quick, and at least you have the information. There are 3 secrets that are contributed to EXP success. And one of those is lead generation. You know, Chris and his team are doing a phenomenal job, and I hope you guys tune into his training more with the, you know, digital marketing and video marketing, because they're definitely, I would say, gurus and experts in what they're doing. And this is an additional thing that we have, additional tool, I should say, is our KV Core is a lead generation platform that's given to all of our EXP agents. A lot of other companies are using this, but they're paying $400 to $600 a month for it. And we get this as a part of our technology fee of only $85. You know, so this is a massive. It also serves as a CRM as well that's attached to it, so you can drip on your clients. We do have over 40 hours a week of live training. This is massive. Now, of course, I know a lot of brokers provide training. This training, though, is a little bit, I would say, unique in the sense that we have coaches that have come over to EXP. We have high producers, and these guys are actually providing training, not just, you know, the quote unquote trainers that a lot of companies have. These are producers that have an incentive to actually give back and train on our platform. So you're going to learn day-to-day real live things that are working out in the field currently. So it's great application. Then the third reason why a lot of people come, and you may never have thought about this because we're so trained to just go out there and do the transactions, make the work, you know, get the clients, close the deals, keep that going, right? Real estate's awesome. It does provide some freedom, but at other times it also is kind of like a hamster wheel. We don't get paid unless we close transactions. And EXP has an option to basically give you a life of time freedom, and there's light at the end of the tunnel to where you're actually building something. Most realtors don't build, they just do transactions, and they keep going over and over again. Whereas EXP, we have an option to be able to build something for yourself. Just like real estate brokers build a future because they're building a team and long-term income, you as an independent agent with EXP have that same possibilities. Now, as I mentioned, we are changing the industry, out there. I mean, there's obviously a lot of misinformation about our company because we have come in so fast and changed the mindset of people when it comes to our business. And the paradigm shift, happened. RE/MAX was the fastest growing company until Keller Williams took that over in '93. They went 10 years, they grew to 5,000 agents. Well, if you look at this, it's remarkable. EXP in 10 years grew to 23,000 agents, and we're approaching 30,000 at this point. Most of this has happened in the past 3 years. And again, you have to ask yourself, and you may be saying, well, Tony, I'm happy where I'm at, and that's awesome. We're not even here to try to change your mind on that. We're just really here to provide information because it's good, again, to just know what's out there. But there is a reason as to why we're growing at this rate that's just unexplainable. I mean, so many agents are coming, and I will show you a couple of those reasons real quick just to give you some highlights. And then if you'd like more information, obviously we can supply that. The world is changing, right? The pandemic has certainly shown us this, but it was changing before that, right? Retail stores were closing at a rapid rate even before the pandemic hit because the world is changing and how business is being done. And the same is true with real estate brokerages. Funny thing, a lot of people said, oh, well, you can't do business without offices and you've got to have this and, do business a certain way. And this taught us that there is another way to do that. And so we do operate off the premise of not having an office to save money, but as Inked Realty, they have an office, as you can see, right? It's not against the rules. It's actually great to have a small space, and that's option for you. But our model is built off of a lot of producers actually just work from home, so you have the option. Now, I want to just highlight a couple of the key things because this is revolutionary in terms of how real estate's done. We are publicly traded, okay? We're EXPI. You can look us up. We're a debt-free company. We're growing rapidly. And why is that important to you? Well, if you were to come on to EXP, you actually, when you close your first transaction, you get stock in the company. So you now become an equity partner because you have real stock that you could sell, okay? And so we have 3 different ways we can get stock. You close your first transaction, you get it. If you do 2.66 million in sales, you're a capper, meaning you move to 100%, you get more stock. If you refer someone to our company, they close the deal, you get more stock. So this is a way for you to gain equity without you actually having to buy the shares. Now, we have a program. Actually, one of the gentlemen on this call, at least I know one of them for sure, so far. Ryan, he's an icon agent status, right? This is where what this means is that you get the money that you paid to the company, you get it back in stock. So the maximum we pay out is 16 grand in our cap. Imagine if you could get that back, but not only get it back, but it's in stock that's in a company that's growing and exploding across the world. Really cool thing there. Now, we do have an equity program. A lot of people pay franchise fees, to companies, and there's really no benefit to that fee. It's just an extra fee. What if you could pay 5% to yourself and buy stock at a discount and build something as a nest egg for yourself? A lot of the franchise fees are 6 to 8%. So right off the rip, you could keep that extra percentage in your pocket, pay 5%, buy stock. And this is optional. You don't have to do it. You could just keep all the money and not pay any fees there. So I'll give you a quick example how this works. Tracy is one of my mentors. She owned for 8 years, she was the top leader at Century 21, And then she went to Keller Williams. She was the top recruiter of the year. So she decided, well, wait a minute, I'm paying them 6 to 8%. I think she was paying 6% in her franchise fee. Well, she came to EXP, took 5% of her commissions. She acquired 6,655 shares of stock. She got it. We get a discount. So she paid 12 grand basically for her stock. That, if you can see here, follow it through. That was on October 19th. She actually, when stock was trading at 842, she had made $43,000. So she could have taken that money, given it away in franchise fees, but here at EXP, she acquired 43 grand in equity, actual stock that she could sell. Okay. Now that's just an amazing feat. And then she actually has 101,000 shares of dollars in stock that she earned. She did not pay for. Okay. So that's incredible. So she's up $84,000 as of October 2019, and she only invested $12,000 into that stock from her commissions. Now, we have another program called a revenue share model. This is something that a lot of people misunderstand, but basically it's pretty simple, and this is where I'll kind of close it down off of this. We have the ability to refer agents to the company anywhere EXP operates. So if you ever thought about what if you were to sprain your ankle or severely injure yourself, like you couldn't show houses for 6 weeks or 8 weeks during the selling season, what would you do, right? You'd find some solution, but you wouldn't make as much money because you'd have to pay some people to do that. What if you had an elderly parent that you had to go off and really take care of and could not attend to your business? Things happen in life. And in real estate, we're on our own. Well, what if you had a program where you actually referred people to the company and were able to share in the revenue? Okay, this is sustainable income. I know there's profit sharing models out there, but I don't know anybody that lives off of a profit sharing. I know people have been at companies that have that model. They've been there for 20 years and they could never live off of that. It's just it's a nice bonus at every month, maybe, but here, this is a sustainable income if you build it. I can tell you personally, I've been with the company 3 years. This pandemic, obviously we've been slowed down quite a bit, but my income, I'm still on track to a 6-figure income without showing a house. So this is something that's definitely valuable. And the way it works is there's different tiers. It's pretty simple. You refer someone to the company, you get 3.5% of their gross commission taken out of EXP's company dollar. So you pay 20% to the company, then we get paid. So I'll give you a quick example of that real simply. Let's say you recruited a guy named Skip. He joins the company. He's got a client, Pat, who closes on a home of 600 grand. Well, Skip's going to get 18,000. He's going to pay his 20% to the company, but guess what you get? You don't know Pat, you don't know anything about this, but you're going to get a check for $630. And that's going to keep happening until you receive $2,800 from the deals that Skip is doing throughout the year, and then it resets, and then you start receiving again the following year when he's uncapped. We go 7 levels deep, so it's cascading. So if Skip then brings another agent on board, you're going to get paid for up to $3,200 for that, as long as you have 5 agents you brought on board. Again, I won't go into a lot of details, but it's pretty simple. You refer agents to the company. We're going to be in 40 countries in the next 5 to 7 years. We have massive expansion going on right now. We're in the UK, Australia, all of Canada, and US. You have the ability to expand and grow a global real estate business and not have to be a broker. You don't have any liability, no capital investment. And this is something that you can build while doing real estate. And so it's been an awesome thing. You know, there's a lot of testimonials. This gentleman was the fastest growing Exit Realty franchise owner. He came over, he's a real estate coach, and now he's got an incredible 6-figure residual income that helped him out quite a bit when he fell off the roof last year and was down for about 8 weeks. He broke every bone in his right side of his body. And you're probably saying, well, if he's making good money, why was he on the roof? Well, I always like to answer that because he lives in Arizona where it doesn't rain much. He went to throw up a tarp because he was leaving town that day and just didn't want to deal with it. So he slipped off and finally, unfortunately had that accident. But EXP's residual through the rev share helped him out. And this guy right here is a buddy of mine, only in real estate 2 years. He made over $1 million in 1 year in rev share. He doesn't sell houses anymore. He passes those to his team. And this is what's available for you guys. So again, even if you created out just the thoughts, just imagine, what if you had an extra $500 or $2,000 a month coming in to kind of supplement your income throughout the year when maybe the closings slow down? This is a nice benefit. So that wraps up my time. Hopefully, just want to give you a little taste of what we're doing. This is all across again, Canada and United States, Australia, and you can expand anywhere. There's no issues. You don't have to be a broker. If you'd like to get more information on this, I'd love to share it with you. I'll show you one more thing here, because this is a guy I just like to point out. This gentleman was a team leader at Keller Williams. 7 years, he launched 7 offices. He was massively successful. He saw EXP and said, no, thank you. I'm good. I'm totally happy. 6 months later, he was asked again to look at it. And he said, wait, maybe I should look at this. This gentleman now has created a massive income in the multiple, 6 figures residually and approaching 7 figures. And he's, happy as he's ever been because of what EXP has had to offer him. So again, it's been a pleasure, guys. I'll turn it back. I mean, definitely keep tuning into Ryan, Tony, and Chris. I know these guys are just incredible real estate professionals. They think outside the box. They've got incredible ideas. They're massively successful and professional in what they do. And I enjoy watching and following them and what they've been able to accomplish. And now they're willing to give back and share with all of us. And I think that's just an amazing thing. And a lot of what they do, again, is EXP kind of plays a part in the technology and the platform that we have to offer. And love to see you guys again in the future. Have a great day, and all stay safe out there. Chris, thanks for the time, and you guys have a great day.
Tony, you are the man. Thank you for that. I'm so happy. Coming from RE/MAX, I'm joining the EXP. It's been incredible just to see the company, and I wish I would have joined my first year. It's been awesome. So thanks for that, Tony. Guys, we're gonna leave it open for questions. If anyone has some questions, go ahead, type them in the chat box. What time is it? 2 o'clock. It's not 5. Yeah, I was gonna say, fill up that double shot glass, throw them back. The sun is out.
I don't got a question, but I got a comment.
Of course you do. Let's hear it.
All right, so I wanted to point now back to the branding aspect, because I know Chris just killed it when he was really explaining the importance of it. But for those that don't know me, my name is Nathan, and I try and do a lot when it comes to branding and marketing as well, utilizing video and social media. I don't do paid advertisement stuff because I don't understand the analytics of it the way that Chris does, but I try and pump out certain content. So the points that I wanted to make really quick is a few things. One, you have to start. In order to get good at it, you have to start. And what a lot of people don't do is they wait for the perfect time and never do anything, right? So, and you have to be adaptive. So, I'm a lender. Brenda's a lender as well. And Brenda's been in the industry a lot longer than I have, yet you can see that she'll pump videos out because she's conforming to what's working in the industry, right? A lot of people like to sit and think that what worked yesterday will work tomorrow, and that's just not the case. You have to be adaptive, like Chris is saying, staying what's relevant, putting out appropriate and adequate and accurate information, and staying in time with whatever's moving. Another point that I wanted to make as well is think your logo is as strong as your brand is, right? So everyone think of this. I'm not going to say a company name or anything like that. Okay. So for those that are in Oakland County, red, white, and blue hot air balloon, what's the first thing everybody thought of? My guess is going to be RE/MAX, right? Not smashing on EXP at all. I'm just trying to use an example. Because RE/MAX has built their brand so big, you don't have to hear the name RE/MAX. If you see a red, white, and blue hot air balloon, your brain instantly goes to Remax. I have a cover on my phone.
40 years old, at 40 years and up, that recognize that.
Exactly. But there are still people, younger generations, that can recognize it. And Inc. does a great job of that as well, right? They have their logo everywhere. They're on their listing signs. They're on the videos. Like, it's everywhere that they are. Ryan kept showing his cups. There's wallpaper behind it. Why? Because it's stamping a logo in your brain over and over. For those that, I work at Omega, and I had this all over the place. No name. I have it on here. I have it on my laptop. Literally have it everywhere. I wear almost every day. I wear a shirt, so people recognize the brand, right? So if you don't have a logo, you should develop one, because the goal should be develop a logo that doesn't even need to have your name on it. Apple, which Chris used. Apple never puts the word Apple anywhere for the most part. It's just an apple with a half bitten or a bite out of it. So keep that in mind. And last, because I'm gonna try and make it quick, I gotta use the example. I'm gonna visually show everyone, and that is, make sure that as you progress in videos, you're improving your quality, right? So something as simple as this, if I can get it to focus. Wait. Anyways, there we go. So I spent the money to buy a better camera so I can make better content like this, even as for something like a Zoom call. Okay. Now I spent $1,200 on this camera, but the quality that it brings, if you guys can't tell, is so much better, and people appreciate better quality, right? So that's where the camera's at, not on my screen. So as you progress, start adding emojis, start adding widgets. Again, if you look at the videos and my videos, we started somewhere and slowly progressed along the way, adding these animations. If you're not forwardly progressing, people are going to realize that, and then they're just you're not going to be reliable. So adapt with the times, make the changes, create a logo, build your brand off of it, like Chris is saying, and just be consistent with it, which is not easy, because I fell off recently, but nothing says that you can't start up back again. That's all I got.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Nate. Another company that's similar to how you said, Apple or the Remax balloon, like Rolls-Royce. You'll never see a Rolls-Royce commercial, but when you hear Rolls-Royce, you just hear the best of the best, because they've created a brand for themselves. That's it for this week. Anyone else got any questions? No. All right. Well, I just want to thank you guys for joining in on our second week. Just to wrap things up, remember, too many people try focusing on selling when they need to focus on branding. If you focus on the branding, the value and the sales, they'll come in the long run. It might take a little more time, but it's definitely more valuable to your clients, community, friends, followers in the long run. With that being said, just want to thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget, join us next week. We're going to dive into Facebook, the analytics of that. Chris is going to explain the ins and outs. Thanks, guys. Have an awesome week. Kick some ass. Sell some houses. Peace.